Hey guys, it's Rex here. So a couple of weeks ago, you may have seen that Dunkey made a video on a game called Balan Wonderworld. The game's a 3D platformer with powers that help you progress through each level, which obviously led to a lot of comparisons to Mario Odyssey. Except, unlike Odyssey, Balan Wonderworld is, not good. Dare I say, bad even? I know, hot take coming from me here. The two reviewers on Metacritic who gave it only a mixed review will come after me. Or this guy who gave it a 10 saying, honestly one of the best platformers to come out recently. I played Crash 4 and it was kinda boring IMO. Balan is more challenging and varied in gameplay. Must play for lovers of platformers. Right. Is this guy messing with us? Is this like an ironic review that's going over my head? He thinks Crash 4 was boring, but Balan Wonderworld is good because it's hard. Meaning, Crash wasn't hard, but Balan is. Crash 4, the game a bunch of game journalists hated for being, and I quote, sadistic, is too easy compared to Balan. Get out of here. Also, it's the best platformer to come out recently, so now not only is it better than Crash 4, it's also better than Sackboy, Ori, and Bowser's Fury. Anyway, I've actually got to get back to talking about the game you're here for, but just know that this sent me down a Metacritic rabbit hole, trying to understand people's opinions on platformers, since I apparently am less well versed than I thought. Okay, one quick thing before getting back to Balan. I found this review on the front page of Crash 4 that I thought was just brilliant. IllWeezy34 says, I played this game on PC. Oh, this is on the PS4 version review page, by the way. And I truly believe that this game is a treat, especially for a huge Crash fan. The controls are tight, the story is picked up right after Crash warped, and I couldn't be happier. 0. 0 for 0 things wrong with it, I guess. So at least most of us agree that Balan Wonderworld was a total train wreck. Now, Square Enix has been hitting a lot of home runs lately, but they're still no strangers to dumpster fires. Usually when they pee in our Fruit Loops, it's because they think we're tired of using milk, and that they know what we want better than us. Like, hey, you guys like mobile games, right? You want another Final Fantasy mobile game? Of course you do! But Balan by all rights should have been good. It was made by Yuji Naka, the creator of Sonic, and the character designer was Naoto Oshima, who made Sonic's original design. So it's not like it was made by amateurs. These are people who can and have made great games. What's almost impressive in a way is that it fails on all fronts. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm a Nier fan, so I can forgive a game for having clunky or otherwise uninteresting gameplay, as long as the story is good. The reverse is also true. I love lots of games like Doom, or most Nintendo games really, and obviously Sonic, but the story is basically incidental and all that matters is how it plays. But Balan has neither of these. The story and gameplay, while not atrocious, are just really mediocre. The basic premise is that you go into all these different worlds, which are basically like manifestations of someone's trauma or other mental struggles, and help them work through their problem. And it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool sounding actually. It's got some Persona vibes going on. Reminds me of how in those games you go into people's palaces and change their hearts, right? Except Persona is part of a whole anthology that is built upon, and the story in those has been refined over decades. Meanwhile, Yuji Naka's writing experience is Sonic, in which the story is that Blue Hedgehog runs fast and, well, there is no and. That's it. Also, Balan is aimed at kids, and while I'm not trying to be the grown man who says, this children's product does not appeal to my adult sensibilities, that's exactly what I'm about to do. Now, the idea of mental worlds and all that isn't unique to Persona, but that's the first example that comes to mind for me, so I'm rolling with it. The premise for Persona works because it's allowed to actually explore those ideas through a fairly mature plotline involving assault, abuse, and survivor skill, and expand on the story over the course of almost 100 hours. Balan's main story can be done in less than 10 hours. So even though it does try to tackle themes like the death of a loved one or trying to overcome a traumatic experience, it simply isn't given enough time to actually dive into these topics, nor does it have the ability to do them justice. But Rex, you say, you just said yourself it's supposed to be accessible to kids. Of course they can't go that far into such dark themes. And that's the point. If your initial premise doesn't mesh with the audience you're going for, and your game is flawed from the start. Alright, so story, bad. And the gameplay? Well, it exists. Barely. It's a 3D platformer, so you jump a lot. But I think someone forgot to tell Square Enix you're not supposed to only do that. It really feels like they looked at Mario Odyssey and saw the different forms you could take using Cappy and were like, okay, a bunch of different forms. Chicks dig different forms. Except for most of the power-up costumes, it's just the same, but slightly different jump. Okay, that's not quite true. You also have costumes where the power-up is the ability to attack. But bad. Because you can't have both jump and attack on most power-ups. So you lose the ability to jump in a platformer. You can't jump in a platformer. Do you know how absurd that is? Are you following me here with how bonkers of a decision that is? You can get stuck in a level and have to just die because you end up somewhere where you need to jump but only have attack. Can you imagine if Mario got the Fire Flower power-up and then just lost the ability to jump? And the game's promotional material is constantly bringing up how there's 80 costumes. Isn't it neat how many costumes there are? You can't just brag of how many of something you have when that thing is bad. It's like those wacky world records when someone is proud of having the world's largest toenail collection. I don't care. I don't want it. The stages themselves all feel very samey and had to be designed to minimize the risk of getting stuck where you don't have the attack or the jump and can't proceed, which means they're hamstrung on what they can do even as far as unique challenges go. It really is a shame too, because from what I've seen, the dev team had good intentions. It's just what they wanted, what Square wanted, and what the people wanted were entirely different things. In the end, the game probably isn't even going to be that fun to mock for very long. Not even brought up as a meme like Duke Nukem Forever is, but forgotten among a long list of games that overpromised and ended up disappointing. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, please do like and subscribe. I know it's a meme at this point about how, oh, only X% of my viewers are subscribed, but, like, actually, less than 1% of my viewers are subscribed, so it really does help. If there's anything you'd like to see on the channel, such as other games you'd like to see me cover, feel free to leave a comment. One of the perks of being at my size is it's very easy to read and reply to all of them. Alright, hope you have a great day, guys.